Hello everybody, this is Shadow Incarnate 6, and I am bringing you today a game with Gangplank, the Saltwater Scourge, at top lane. Our team looks like it's got Gangplank, Kennen, Nautilus, Graves, Janna. We got some pretty decent damage, some nice AoE damage on Kennen's part and my part, and Graves' little ultimate, I almost forgot about that. We also have quite a bit of CC, which I also really like. Nautilus in itself and Janna is quite a bit of CC. We are facing a Mordekaiser top lane, Lux mid lane, which I haven't seen in God knows how long. I mean, I'm more used to seeing Lux support than anything else. Alistar support, Olaf jungle, and bottom lane. And just give it a moment to load up, and we'll get right into the game pretty soon. What I do like what they've done with Gangplank, actually. I mean, as a recent Gangplank user and not a dedicated like veteran or something like that, I didn't really get to experience the previous Gangplank all that much. It would feel nice, I imagine, to get a crit on someone's face with Parlay early game. But I feel like, you know, if you're a skilled player as it is, you shouldn't really need to rely on that RNG to win your battles for you. And I kind of like that they kind of rewarded more of the skilled solo top Gangplank than the face rolling press Q and win type build, which I felt like too many people were building. I mean, people still do build carry plank and crit plank, but I'm more of the tanky DPS role that can survive in team fights, and his late game damage actually wasn't touched at all, which is what I really liked about those changes, is that all they did was tone down his early game, which is, by the way, still pretty crazy. I mean, his damage and his slow, his utility, early, mid, and late game, like he provides so much utility all game long, and to boot, late game he just hits like a truck, just like he normally does. In this game, we don't all actually make it to late game, but in another game, I had my Trinity force, I had my Atmogs and my Mercury Treads, and it was just I kept like destroying the carry, and nothing could ever pin me down, nothing could ever kill me. That's usually what happens by late game with Gangplank. People, like, I have not seen a Gangplank user in God knows how long either. I mean, a solo top Gangplank, I have only seen like Rivens and I mean, a few Renekton's, one or two Cho'Gaths. I've seen a few Yoriks, actually. I have not seen a solo top Gangplank since those nerfs, though. And I don't really see why. I mean, he's still extremely strong. The only real Gangplank user I've seen is Saint Vicious. And I've found that he uses him pretty well all in himself. So anyway, I give Nautilus, and Kennen and I give Nautilus a pretty big leash. I know how it is when you're a jungler and you don't get a very strong one, so I kind of sympathize with that. As I stated before, I am facing a Mordekaiser at top lane, and ordinarily someone at solo top would be like, oh, well, that's annoying, he's just going to be poking you, and every time you Q, you'll never be able to harass him back. Well, that's kind of partially true. While his shield is up a lot of the time, and I can't really poke him when he does that, see, like right there, it only did 20 damage, and the dot only did like 3. But if you play it safe and wait for his shield to decay and then just focus on farming, he is gonna zone you, but that'll happen with Gangplank at times. I mean, if you're facing somebody like Mordekaiser or Kennen or Rumble that has any kind of range, that can be a little frustrating, but with Gangplank that's not really a problem, because you have your Q, and you can keep farming with that and actually get a decent gold advantage even if they try to zone you. See right there, he's only doing 47 damage to me. Right now, I mean, I don't do as much damage as he does, but I can go ahead and just poke with my Q whenever his shield is down, or I can just use my Q to last hit minions and stuff. I mean, if he does, yeah, right now, for some reason I decided, let's try to melee him. I'm like, well, that was probably not a very smart idea. So, and right now, it's just kind of a farm fest for me. I mean, he's pushing. I don't know why. I mean, with Mordekaiser, I feel like a skilled one would know, you know, maybe I shouldn't push if they've got Nautilus on the enemy team. That's kind of what you gotta take into account is when you're at solo top, you need to know when to push. If your solo top opponent is like up top, or I mean isn't up top anymore and is like ganking another lane, and you say like MIA and they even fail at killing the other lane, that's when you need to push. Especially if you've got a ward and you know when your opponent's coming back. Because not only can you get a decent gold advantage by taking down the minion wave as it comes towards your minions as you attack the tower, and then the minions themselves will attack the tower, but that can just, you can really start getting a really high creep score while your opponent fails at getting a kill at mid lane or something. So anyway, I'm just, look at me, just like failing at last hitting at the turret because minions are taking them down faster than I am. Nautilus is ganking. Oh, he's not ganking anyone yet. I'm pretty sure that after this minion wave comes in, after he gets wolves, he's actually coming top or coming mid. I can't quite remember. This was actually a pretty good game for me. This is, like I said, I don't know if I said this, but I am not the highest in the ELO bracket right now. In fact, I'm very low because I don't exactly like dealing with the solo queue environment. I feel like it's very counterproductive to have teammates that kind of demoralize your playing as you're trying to improve and trying to practice your players. I mean, your characters. I mean, you don't practice characters in ranked, but I mean in solo queue, it's just counterproductive to have some guy shouting at you like noob and learn to play and all that crap. You know, if you're playing like seriously like I do, you just can't. Usually somebody that plays seriously like me can't stand just the childish sort of banter that goes on in solo queue. That's why I usually try not to go into solo queue, and usually the games I do are with friends. And, you know, that's always an option. You can always do solo queue. I'm not bat-mouthing it at all. I'm just saying it's kind of counterproductive for me. I don't like doing it. But there are certainly people that do. And it is certainly a way of playing, and it is not the best. It doesn't give you the best mentality in terms of playing the game seriously, but all in all, it's all about preference, I suppose. So right now we're both 6. I'm just kind of waiting. I'm trying to bait out his ult. I want him to try to fight me. He has low health though, so he probably won't continue fighting. And right now, I just want to be and get my Philosopher stone, because then that will allow me to have more sustain in lane, and I won't have to keep eating oranges whenever I'm low on health. Plus, right now, the oranges don't really give that much health back to me, so that's not really a reliable way of getting sustain. So right now, we're pretty even in terms of kills. I mean, Nautilus actually dives, not dives, actually Lux dives Kennen, and Kennen gets killed by the Ignite from Lux. Pretty even exchange there. I mean, Kennen had already gotten a kill on her though, so I don't know why Lux decided to dive him, especially when Nautilus is already there and Kennen still had his ult, but it worked out for me, I suppose. I mean, it worked out for us, I suppose. And he's just using his Siphoning Strike again, which is kind of annoying, but I have potions and a Philosopher Stone, so his poke isn't doing a whole lot. See, this is why Mord just isn't that overwhelming. I mean, you'll see later that his damage is certainly high, but if you're a solo top and you're facing Mordekaiser, there's not a whole lot that you need to be worried about. All you really need to worry about is his poke, and that can be easily negated by like magic resist. This is usually why people at the higher ELO bracket seem to understand that Mord is more of a mid laner than he is a solo top, because he's less easily defended against at mid lane. I'm surprised that they didn't go Olaf solo top and then put someone like put someone like Alistar in the jungle. Maybe put Mordekaiser at mid, have him destroy Kennen perhaps. But then again. And then here, watch as I do this really stupid move. I try to go after him right now with my exhaust. In retrospect, it wasn't exactly good to take 2 tower hits and then have to use my flash. I almost die here. Look at that. Look at that. I get to 5 health. Look at that. I get to 2 health. And then I use my potion and I get out. But then I just eat oranges. I decide to B after that because Mord could have dove me right there because he would have just tanked 2 turret shots. But fortunately, my Philosopher Stone was doing the trick. And at that point, I had like 300 health by the time I was being. So if Mord tried to dive that, he'd probably die. And I don't know exactly what happened there. I wasn't exactly watching the map right then. Looks like Kennen was trying to go after Lux, but then Lux turned around and killed him back. Yeah, right now I'm just getting my second component, my Null Magic Mantle for my Merc Treads, my inevitable Merc Treads, and I'm getting a Sight Ward just in case of an Olaf gank, which are relatively annoying because you have to keep eating oranges every single axe he throws, and you can't always get away from that unless you have about as much mana as I do now. And if you don't see those coming, it can turn into a pretty bad situation, and you don't want to get yourself into that kind of situation if you don't have to. See, I put it right there because that way if I see him coming out of the tri-bush, I have enough time to react. Here I'm just poking Mordekaiser once, and he's trying to poke me back, but I still have more mobility than him. This is why his mobility, I mean, my mobility is actually keeping him from harassing me effectively. I mean, keeping him from harassing me effectively. I apologize. See, right there. See, that's when you want to poke him, is when his shield is decaying that much. If you can poke him like that, then you can find that you actually put a dent in his health. Whereas most Mordekaiser players think they're invincible, and you can really capitalize off of that as Gangplank. Right then, I didn't see that actually that Mordekaiser was getting hit by Nautilus. I kind of reacted a little later than I would have wanted. Right now, we're actually about to get the kill. It wasn't actually Mordekaiser that damaged there. That was actually the turret. I don't know why I decided to tank that instead of Nautilus, because he had a shield. I didn't. But regardless, I decided to keep pushing this top lane, and actually, I don't want to actually kill the turret. I should have been farming minions, but I also wasn't completely sure as to where Olaf was. And right here, look at this. Lux is just not caring, just pushing this turret. Watch as she just gets dominated here. She forgets that both Kennen and Nautilus's CC is just ridiculous, and Kennen's damage is quite ridiculous. I'm actually going to show you a commentary of Kennen maybe in the future if you guys want me to actually show you. I mean, I already said that that game wasn't the best because I wasn't quite as aggressive as I could have been. I have a real problem with being aggressive with Kennen because if I feel like if I'm too aggressive, I won't have any method of getting out because I have my dash, and that's really the only way to close the distance against people, but it's also his only escape method. So if I'm overly aggressive and I don't play it carefully, I feel like I can make more mistakes than more often than not. And then right here, there's Mordekaiser just kind of doing whatever. I don't know what he's doing. He's trying to poke me, but at this rate, I don't know why he's trying. I mean, I've already gotten a kill on him. He can tank stuff with a shield, but I can go ahead and heal and get my Philosopher Stone. I guess he's trying to keep my health down, but it's kind of fruitless when I'm... Oh, well, yeah. And then I got this huge lag spike right here. And then I just heal that because I don't care. And at this point, I was kind of worried because Lux kind of... When she gets too much AP, her laser can hit like 15 trucks. And that's really something I got to worry about at times. But I digress. Here comes Nautilus again. He's actually going to help me kill him again. There's no way a Mordekaiser's escaping from this. I go ahead and exhaust him because I didn't want his ult to do more damage than it should have. The exhaust will keep the damage down and keep the healing down. So if you can do that against Mord, then that's pretty much all of his damage. That's one way of countering him. I hear a lot of things about how, oh man, he ulted me, now I can't do anything and I'm gonna die. Well, you can get Quicksilver Sash, you can exhaust him to keep the damage down. There's a bunch of ways to counter Mordekaiser. I know I'm a little late in terms of the Mordekaiser OP threads, but I mean, I still hear a few of those every once in a while. And right here, I'm just going to go B. I don't quite remember. Actually, no, I guess I didn't B, but because I felt like, oh, well, Mordekaiser isn't here yet. I'm still at full health. I also want more farming potential and more gold, more of a gold advantage. And I think this is where I'd be, actually, because I'm like, he's back. He's going to push again, and I like that. I really like it. That's something I really like, especially against really really skilled junglers. I really like it when my enemy laner like pushes. The early game snowballing meta that's going on right now seems to, I don't know, encourage pushing the lane, and I'm not sure if that makes a whole lot of sense. If you want if you want to get an early game advantage, then I feel like your jungler should be the one spoon feeding you kills. I mean, sure, you want that CS advantage as well, but I feel like with Gangplank, you don't always have to get a ton of CS in order to have a gold advantage, because of his Q that gives him just so much gold. His Q at level 5 hits like a truck, but I see a few people that level it last, and I don't really mind. If you don't level it last, then you're obviously like leveling this first, which is actually his like only damage steroid, which is arguably more important. It makes him scale a bit better. I usually end up leveling it second. That's why, because by mid game I need that, and right then I actually ulted over there to get that kill on Mordekaiser. Then Mordekaiser says, "Get fed." Gangplank, get more fed. So that kind of made me laugh. I think I calculated that his distance perfectly, because I just saw him. I figured he'd be walking backwards. I don't know why. Oh, he got the kill. I was gonna say, I don't know why he dove that Olaf when Lux is just gonna kill him. Looks like oh, I'm sorry guys. I don't know why I'm tired. And I hate to go all Dyrus on you guys. But anyway, Alistar just kind of walks by me, and I'm not quite sure why. I guess it's because he knows I probably won't attack him, which I won't. I mean, there's no reason for me to. And Tristana doesn't realize that we have it warded, that we have the bush warded, and so she decides to try her luck, I guess. And I think, yeah, Kennen dies here, and yeah, he dies to the ignite. But I'm just like, yeah, Alistar, you just kind of screwed up. Now I can go ahead and kill Tristana. And now I have blue. I have blue buff. I can get out of here. Even though I don't have my oranges, I still got exhaust. So if somebody tries to catch me, see, Lux knows, I'm not going to catch him. He's got too much move speed. Look, I got 431 move speed. I've got Movespeed Quints. Nothing is catching me. I also have blue, so if they really started to get close, I could have just eaten oranges and been K. I should have seen that they were diving him. That's something I gotta work on too, is my map awareness. I was contemplating maybe going after Mord. I kind of wanted to, but I kind of didn't, because I knew that Olaf was probably nearby and Mord might have been baiting. Maybe he was just not that intelligent. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and bank it off he wasn't that intelligent this time. Because at this point, he couldn't do anything against us. I mean, he lost his advantage early game, and his damage and his farming potential just weren't that high. They got dragoned, but at this rate, it's not gonna help them a hell of a lot. Especially since I've still got this sustain. I've got 4 kills. Graves has about, let's see how many Graves. Well, he's got 1, but he's got 90 CS. I've got 64, but that's also because I've been roaming a bit. I've had to B a few times because of Mordekaiser's damage. I'm just reassuring them. It's okay, guys. Getting fed, blah, blah, blah. Just sometimes I come across as an arrogant douchebag when I'm talking to my teammates. I mean, I try not to rage at them anymore. I mean, I used to do that a bit, but lately, I just don't find a point in raging at my teammates. And then I watch this Kennen just dominates that Olaf. I should show you a game with Olaf. Olaf is kind of ridiculous. his damage can be so insane if you're playing the lane. Even more so than Gangplank, and that's like, that is just unheard of. His damage is just so good. So good. I mean, oh, and then Alistar just kind of knocks me over the wall, and that kind of upset me. It was a little annoying. I forgot that the turret was still up. I decided not to ult though, because we're not going to dive them. When I use Gangplank, I try to only ult when we commit to a team fight, not when we're like escaping or trying to chase like 2 people. Because then if a big team fight starts like 20 minutes later, then there's no real point in. Yeah, and then I see Mordekaiser. I'm like, I just walked right by him. What's wrong with me? And I'm like, you know, I could have fought Mordekaiser, but Olaf was coming, and I'm just like, I don't want to do that. And at that point, with my oranges, I've been kind of using them whenever I wanted, because Mordekaiser has no CC, so he can't really pin me. I was just doing that to keep them from chasing. I didn't want them to chase after Kennen, because at this point, Kennen is very valuable, because even though he's died to Lux a few times, yeah, I did that to burn a flash or maybe kill him, but man. So this game is looking pretty good. It's almost over, actually. They surrender pretty early. Our team actually did pretty well. Kennen kind of made some calls, but Nautilus was just outstanding. Tristana tried to kill Graves, but I don't get the logic of this Graves. I killed Tristana because she decided, oh, let's go ahead and jump in the middle of everybody. Let's see. Yeah. It looks like Tristana only has 66 CS, so that's what Graves was kind of laughing at. Graves is much more farmed. I go ahead and get my Warmogs. It won't really matter at this point, though. I'm going to go ahead and... This game is actually just about wrapped up. Yeah, see. I'm Trist. I'm going to jump in middle of 3... Oh, okay. My bad. I shouldn't have done that. I don't know why Nautilus chased after this, but then I realized, wait, even Nautilus can kill Mordekaiser at this point. It's kind of sad when that happens. Yeah, I don't know why Olaf used that though. Whenever he ganked, apparently he pushed bottom. That's something you never ever want to do as the jungler. It's just, you never want to push your lane, because that will just give your the enemy jungler a bigger advantage. See right there, I just go ahead and steal the blue wraith. I figure keep my gold advantage up even more than it already is. It's not that high against. In fact, it's not anywhere near Mordekaiser's gold advantage. But right now, he's just trying to tank up to survive us. I only have a gold advantage because I have 5 kills, and here I keep tanking the turret. I don't care. I just go ahead and be right about now. I'm just gonna go ahead and join my team pretty quick here. Again, this game's just about wrapped up. I'm actually, a lot of the enemy team comes over here to push top. I don't know why they all grouped here. I go ahead and get rid of all the minions, so that when they try to fight me, look at that, how little damage I took there. I didn't take like any damage, and now I'm just gonna go over there and try to get Tristana. Then Alistar is annoying little, you know what. And Kennen again is a boss, so that's gonna happen. And again, I don't know what's going on. I've been tanking the turret for a long time, so I'm just gonna back off a little bit. We go ahead and I was gonna actually try to kill this Alistar, but as you can see, they go ahead and surrender. They are so far behind. I doubt they could have fought us for very much longer. And that is the end of this Gangplank commentary. It is a wonder to put out these guides for you guys, and I'll see you guys later.